I am on record on this channel, several times over, on the things that you do not need to be or not be, the stereotypes that you do not need to adhere to in order to be trans or identify as a given gender. However, if men can wear makeup and dresses and be primary caregivers and still be men, and women can wear flannel and have buzz cuts and be mechanics and still be women, then what is it that makes a person trans rather than just a gender non-conforming cis person? So, as I've said before, the idea that trans people embody a slavish adherence to gender stereotypes is a load of trash. Butch-dyke trans women exist. Femme trans men exist. And as anyone who has talked to a reasonable number of trans people know, we're a really diverse lot when it comes to gender presentation. I have some stereotypically masculine traits, habits and aesthetic choices, but also no shortage of feminine ones as well. With that in mind, why did I transition and why do I identify as a man? As far back as I can remember, my literal asleep dream version of myself has been male. It's not something I really thought about for a couple of decades. It's not really something I got to think about. You're informed, you're a girl, that's just how it is. You negotiate the world on that basis and slot your experiences into that template. I was an incredibly disconnected, self-loathing child and young adult, and I frankly remember very little of my childhood. It's mostly a blur of not much wanting to exist. And then, in my late teens, I discovered online role-playing and online gaming. Now, there is a whole lot of really interesting study to be done into why people choose the online avatars that we do, and I don't just mean in a gender sense. Shocker, I picked out male characters. Every time. And those characters immediately felt more like me than the person that I was living as every day. I then had literally a decade of sort of existing my way through day-to-day life and then coming alive on the internet as these people that felt more like me. The friends that I made online actually felt more real and genuine to me than the ones that I had in real life because I was able to meet them through this more authentic feeling avatar. And I would often hold off as long as possible before admitting I was really a girl. The key turning point for me in knowing that this was right for me was being able to kind of try it out in real life at the age of 29. I got to know more trans people through the kink scene and Magic the Gathering. So one day someone asked me what my pronouns were and I kinda went, well, you know, if you're gonna give me the choice, I've kinda always preferred he. And so they just did, like it was no big deal. Most people who look into trans issues at all are familiar with the term gender dysphoria, which is the intense distress or discomfort that some trans people experience towards elements of their physical body or being treated in accordance with their assigned gender. Gender euphoria is much less talked about. It's literally the opposite. It's the sense of joy and rightness that comes with being treated in accordance with and feeling that you reflect your true gender. As more and more people in my life started using first my correct pronouns and then my new name, once I started taking hormones and strangers started gendering me correctly, particularly on the phone, every step that I took towards the world seeing me as this more authentic version of myself just felt absolutely amazing. The difference between the confident, positive, forthright man that I am today and the needy, insecure, self-loathing shutaway that I was 10 years ago is absolute night and day. Now, I am not going to claim that the world is sunshine and light 24/7. I definitely still have my rough patches, life sometimes gets me down, but those are now the exception, and there is no overstating how much better things are now than before. So, as far as I'm concerned, that is the reason that I'm trans. And hopefully it sheds a little bit of light on what I and some others mean when we talk about the importance of self-identification. All the other stuff, the surface level stuff that you might look at me and decide was typically masculine, as far as I'm concerned, that stuff is circumstantial window dressing. There is no aspect of my looks, attitude, personality, life goals or attitude that would be out of place on a woman, or obviously for a man for that matter. So I hope that was informative, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again soon.